Welcome again to our podcast for this week. Today, we are so much privileged and blessed to have a great leader in the corporate world. Madam Kagendo, it's nice to have you in this podcast. Tell us more about yourself.
Oh, thank you for having me, Dr. Mulinge. My name is Kagendo Kituto. I am a business development manager with a corporate company in the petroleum industry, and I am married with two adult children. I'm very passionate about leadership.
Oh, last time we met, I heard people call you mom. And the most amazing thing is to hear people calling you mom, remembering the time you were in school. How many years is that you were in college?
Wow. I must have been in college over 30 years ago, and by the grace of God, I served in the Christian Union.
Uh-huh.
And in the university, the first vice chair is mom.
Mhm.
And so people used to call me mom, whether born again or not.
Mhm.
They always just referred to me as mom.
One of the things that has amazed me, I've met about four people, and you were in there with them in college. 30 years.
Yes,
That's not a short period, it's quite a
true.
long period. And the thing that I was asking myself, what is this you did to these people? Even after these years, they still regard you as a mom. What is this that you did to them?
I guess I must have nurtured them because, a mother is a nurturer.
Uh-huh.
So I must have added quite some value in their lives
Uh-huh.
for them to remember me to date.
Okay.
Yes,
And I guess that is the essence of leadership.
true.
Now tell us, now you've come again to Aslead,
Mhm.
and you're fitted well in Aslead. And what really made you embrace the concept of servant leadership?
Being a person of faith and a believer in that context, there is a word of God that tells us that we do unto others what we would want done unto us.
Uh-huh.
When I look at the concept of servant leadership, it's about doing to others, not necessarily doing to self.
Mhm.
And so I realize that is according to my mantra, which
Mhm.
believes in valuing people
Mhm.
and adding value to people.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, throughout your journey from college to this time now you're working in the corporate world, what can you tell us one example that has really, when you think about servant leadership, you could say that since I embraced this concept of servant leadership, it has transformed me.
Yeah.
What is that one thing that you can say embracing servant leadership has done this to me?
I could say that servant leadership has actually transformed my life.
Mhm.
Because when you embrace servant leadership, you think more about other people and the value that you can be able to give unto them.
Mhm.
For example, you become a better listener. You want to listen to people and just hear what they are saying verbally and even the non-verbal communication.
Mhm.
Because most times people talk with other actions
Mhm.
other than just what they say with their mouths.
Mhm.
And then you realize that you need to empathize with people. Be there for people when they need somebody to listen to them, to walk their journey with them, to mentor them, whether it's in the corporate world or even in the home affairs. And that is how I have embraced servant leadership in my life. When I see somebody, I see them as a people of value who need to be added value to.
I think one of the challenges that we are having with the leadership today, and having met with many leaders and having listened to so many people, they are saying this: our leaders don't listen to us. And one of the things I've realized, when you don't listen to your people, you miss them.
Yes.
Actually, you
true.
are like a leader missing in action,
Yeah.
because you are not in touch with these people.
True.
So in listening and throughout your journey as a servant leader, what are some of the challenges that you have encountered and you would tell the listener to avoid or maybe to be aware of?
You know, when you talk about servant leadership and being there for other people and listening to other people, it's not an easy thing because you have to put your interests at number 10 and put the interests of other people 1, 2, 3.
Can you repeat that? You got to put your interest at number 10.
At number 10, yes. And put the interests of other people at number 1, 2, and 3. Because I believe that God created us for us to add value to people. And God created us not for ourselves, but really to be a gift to the world that He has created. And He put in us purpose. And that purpose He has put in us is not necessarily for my benefit. It's for the benefit of God's creation.
Now, you know, you have talked to something and you've said something that actually is not something that actually would want to be heard by our leaders.
Yes.
Putting your interest in number 10 is like giving up your right. It's
It
like
is.
saying that I don't have any rights as a leader.
Yes.
Because we live in that in a situation where a leader should get first and then give it. And this is the kind of a life that we are facing, and this is what actually the world is all about. It's about me. It's not about them. But coming up with it saying that I want to take number 10, isn't that not painful? Are you not losing your rights?
You lose your rights, but you gain more.
Wow.
Because you create relationships with people that will definitely, push you up to where you want to be. I remember somebody, Zig Ziglar, says, when you help other people achieve their goals, then you achieve yours. You see? So when you're adding value to other people, somehow, even yours, you are able to achieve them. You realize that it is not just important to be successful, but to be significant. And being significant is where you're no longer thinking so much about yourself, but you're thinking more about other people.
Then I think you have been thinking about rethinking leadership. I think that is one of the concepts that has been coming into my mind. How can we rethink about leadership? Because the kind of a leadership that we know nowadays is not about taking number 10.
Yes.
When you are number 1.
Yes.
When you're in the position of leadership, like where you work, you are a CEO there, and then you choose to take number 10. What does it take, or what does it mean to say that I'm taking number 10? I'm coming from number 1, I'm coming to number 10. What does it mean, and how can it be applied in a corporate world?
You know, it's about realizing that you cannot do anything much without people. You need people to do anything, whether it's in the corporate world, in the church, or in any organization. You cannot be the one that is all things. You can be everything. You can be in ICT, for example, and still be in marketing, and still be in sales, and be in finance. You can't. You need people in all those aspects. And whatever value those people add is dependent on how you treat them and how you see them as a people of value. Because people don't really care how much you know, but how much you care.
How much you care.
Yes.
Can you repeat that statement again? People don't
care how much you know, but how much you care. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
How can somebody implement servant leadership, especially in the corporate world? Because many people have confused that a servant leader loses their authority, or maybe they lose their power. How can somebody influence or maybe implement servant leadership in a corporate world like the way you are in?
Yeah. Actually, when servant leadership is mentioned, some people think it's a point of weakness because you look at it as serving. But I'm telling you, serving really lifts you up. It doesn't bring you down. Because what you're saying is you're telling people, you know what, we are in this together. And all of us have the same interests. We want to achieve something in this life. So in the corporate world, servant leadership, as I mentioned earlier, can be implemented by listening more, empathizing more, mentoring people and adding value to them. That is the most important thing that you can do in the corporate world where you are.
Listening. And empathizing
and
with
empathizing.
people. Because a servant leader needed to empathize with people, because people, they bring into their places of work a lot of issues.
Yes.
They are heartbroken.
Yes.
And they're looking for a person who will help them and understand them through listening.
Yes.
So tell us, can you remember something that you implemented in your place of work as a senior manager or maybe as a CEO?
Maybe the thing that comes to mind for me is just something that I did actually sometime this year. And I encouraged people to come together and let's talk about how can we change our world? How can we change the environment in which we are in? Because sometimes the workplace can be very toxic, But when you come together and begin to ask yourself questions like, how can we make a difference here? How can we make impact to one another? How can we show that we value each other? What kind of attitude do we need to have? And so I took a number of staff members, about 10 of them, through lessons on change your world. And the first thing that needs to change is your attitude. Because your attitude is your altitude. That is where we started. Then we talked about valuing people. And I can tell you, when we started the classes, they were very quiet classes. But by the time we were getting to the third and fourth lessons, everybody was laughing. Even people who never used to talk to each other. And that really changed the environment of our workplace. Yes.
Wow. Get this. Altitude is your
altitude. Yes.
It means that your attitude will lift you up.
Oh, yes.
The attitude that you have towards the people.
Yes.
Or the attitude that, attitude is like creating a climate of change and transformation in your organization.
Yes.
And I think that is one of the things every leader should think. What attitude, what culture am I bringing into this organization that I'm leading? And now, Aslead, we are doing a conference in Uganda. And apparently you've been chosen to be one of the facilitators. That's a great joy to see you coming to Uganda.
Oh, yes.
So what message, what topic are you going to teach in Uganda?
Wow, that's a very good question and a very interesting impact, and inviting me and welcoming me to Uganda. Actually, Uganda is also my other home. We have people there who are close to us and close to our hearts. I will be talking about women leadership, servant leadership for women in the corporate world. How can a woman be a servant leader in the corporate sector? That's what I'll be looking at.
What are some of the ideas that maybe you can try to preempt, so that somebody outside there or somebody listening can say that I want to listen to that lady. I want to listen to that lady. What are some of the topics? Just kind of an appetizer. Yes.
One of the things that I would be touching on is the fact that most people say that women are the worst enemies of each other. And I want to demystify that and say that women, we are each other's supporters. We are the ones to lift each other up. And that which was created in us. As I mentioned earlier, women have just that nurturing spirit.
Mm.
And that helps us to become better mentors, even at the workplace. So that's some of the things that we will be talking about. And how can we be able to understand what value we add to those people around us?
You know me, I've been doing a lot of research on servant leadership. And I trace servant leadership and I see it being practiced by my mom. And me personally, I look at women as great servant leaders because they have got that nurturing spirit. They have got that nurturing experience. And that's why we have seen, and you've said it clearly, that women are nurtured, so they can nurture even an organization.
Yes.
If a mother can nurture a baby for 9 months, and we actually listening to the baby, empathizing with the baby, and carrying that baby, I think it would be not a big problem nurturing an organization. So that's a great topic, and I'm looking forward to sit down and listen to it. So what would you want to tell somebody who is preparing to come and who is thinking about, okay, should I attend this meeting or I should not? So how would you challenge that person who is at the point of making decision, and up to this moment they haven't made a decision of attending the conference?
Okay. So if you're out there and you have not yet clicked register on the flyer or on the website for Aslead, I want to tell you that you're going to miss a piece of your life, because during that leadership workshop, we are going to be able to sit together and ask ourselves very pertinent questions. Questions like, what am I here for? You know, what am I here for? Why did God create me and put me in the place that I am today? Those are some of the questions we'll be asking ourselves. And we will also be asking ourselves, am I a servant leader, or am I a theoretical, or what is it called, leader, just a leader on paper?
Yes.
Because if you are a leader and no one is following you, then you are leading no one.
And then the other question that we are going to be asking is this: am I a bully boss? Or am I a servant boss?
Oh, yes. Yes.
See, these are some of the questions that we are going to tackle there. And men, we also have another person, Francis Zanga in Uganda, and myself. We will be there, and we'll be answering this question and helping you to unlock your leadership skills and get you to know that God created me a servant leader. Did you know that God created, at the end of the day, do you know everyone is serving somebody?
Yes.
And if you are not serving somebody, you are serving yourself. In other words, you are serving your own interest. And how good it is that if we served somebody outside there, because we live a change transition. Okay, here's a question. What are unique insights or experience will attendees gain from the workshop? What are some of these you would say that when you come, this is what you're going to gain?
You're going to gain insights, like we said, and then you're going to have an opportunity to network with like-minded people, people who understand leadership or who want to grow in their spheres of influence. So if you want to grow, if you're looking to be a better leader, then that is the place to be.
So this workshop is gonna be for CEOs, politicians, church leaders, mothers, lawyers, doctors, anyone who is in a position of leadership, or anyone who want to become a better leader.
True.
We are looking forward to bring a culture of servant leadership in our lives and in our cooperative organization that we are in. So, Madam Kagendo, welcome to Kabbalah.
Thank you.
Looking
Thank you.
forward to see you.
Looking forward to be there to eat some matoke and groundnut sauce, the delicacies of Uganda.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
going to be wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.